Hi everyone, it's Erin. Welcome to my beauty group. I am so excited to have you all here. For you, those of you who don't know me, I've been a professional makeup artist on and off for the last 21 years. And I absolutely love everything about beauty. So I wanted to make this group with a bunch of my friends and a bunch of their friends, so we would have a safe space for a bunch of us to come and just have fun and learn and share from each other. So there are a lot of amazing, extremely talented women in this group that are makeup artists themselves or former makeup artists. And then there are a lot of young ladies in this group who are just moms like you and me, living every day, trying to look their best. So I wanted all you guys to feel so welcome. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you. And this is my first ever, well, technically second, because my first video that I filmed for you earlier today would not upload. So this is technically my first ever video that I'm going to post, and I want to teach you all about my 5-minute hack. HAC stands for highlight and contour. And I am going to do my full face. Well, I did my eyes. I did my eyes and my lips and my eyebrows earlier because that was on the other video that I could not get to load. But I washed off the rest of my face and decided, since that video was too long, this video would just be all about the skin, the rest of your face. We'll do a more detailed eye and lip video in a little bit. So I'm so excited. You guys have no idea. Okay, so like I said, I've been a makeup artist in the beauty industry for many years, and I was just recently introduced about a month and a half ago to an amazing company called Mascara Beauty. And mascara is so different because it is simple, it is easy, it is clean beauty. It is everything in this. Do you guys see this? This one compact. This compact did my eyes, my lips, besides my eyeliner and my mascara. Everything else came from this compact. And I'm going to finish the rest of my face with one compact, one brush, and only one other item that I don't have yet in this compact, which is a translucent setting powder. Ours is called Vanilla Dust. It is amazing. It gives you an airbrushed, flawless finish to your makeup. I just am not lucky enough to have it yet because it has been sold out. So I will be using MAC Invisible Set Powder to set my foundation around my nose, on my chin, and on my forehead because I am a very sweaty girl and I don't want this going anywhere. Okay, so let's get started. So I just got out of the shower before I filmed the other video. I had nothing else on my face. I washed it off, and now I'm going to put just a little bit of primer. Now, I found with this makeup, to do your skincare either a good half an hour before you try to apply your foundation or the night before. Now, I did mine when I first got out of the shower. I did my video earlier. I washed my face again, and I put it on again. So it's been about a half hour. That's soaked in, and I'm going to use some primer. Now, I'm going to use the Too Faced Hangover Primer. And primer is really great, you guys, because it is going to help your makeup stay on and go on super smooth. And especially if you're like me, like I said, I get sweaty, I get oily, I have anxiety through the roof. So the second I start getting anxious, my face is the first place that sweats. And I mean sweats. So if this can stay on for me and work and look beautiful and not break down, I know you guys are gonna love it. Okay, so now I've been told that this makeup is so easy, you can do it with your eyes closed. And if you don't know me, or you do, you know I am blind as a bat. So I don't have any contacts right now, so I have to take off my glasses, which is basically, for me, the same as doing it with my eyes closed. So if I can do it, you guys can definitely do this, okay? So I'm gonna set my glasses on top of my head to get my hair out of the way. Do you guys see my lovely glitter roots? Ooh, I do love glitter though. Okay, so let's get started. 5-minute hack, okay? I'm gonna use one brush, our blush and bronzer brush, a nice soft, fluffy big end, and then a shorter, denser, more compact end. This is gonna give you more coverage. And I like to pat on my contour and my brightening highlight with this end. The rest of my face, all this, baby. All this nice fluffy guy. So this is how we do it. This is my compact. Now, in mascara, we have what's called highlights. Now, in typical beauty world, a highlight is a shimmery cream or powder that you might add after your makeup to give some radiance. I have some on my brow bone right now. Sorry, I got a cat hair, I think, in my eye. But in mascara beauty, we call your foundation your highlight, and we break that down into your main highlight color, which is going to be the color that's worn over the majority of your face, a brightening highlight, which is good for the center of your forehead, your nose, under the eyes where we tend to get a little dark, and we want to keep the center of the face a little bit lighter and glowy to really help show off the natural beauty and 3-dimension of our own faces, because we're not flat and we don't want our makeup to be, right? Right. So I am going to start first with the darker of my 2 highlight shades, which is called Candlelit. And I'm going to take the fluffy end of the brush and just, I don't know if you guys can see this, 1, 2. Barely put any pressure on the brush, barely any product on there, but that's all you need, okay? Now this is my main highlight, which means this is going to go over the majority of the area I want to cover on my face, which for me is my cheeks. Now, for some reason, it's not showing that much on camera, but I am very red. I have a lot of uneven texture on my face here and a lot of pink, a lot of broken blood vessels here and on my nose. So that's the area I like to cover first. And we want to do a nice thin skin-like layer to really just even everything out. Okay, so I tapped my brush in twice. Now I'm going to press this on my face and swirl with a buffing motion to really blend that in. Okay, so product on the brush, 1, 2, 3, 4, press and swirl. Now I'm not getting close, super close to under my eye, because that's where I'm going to use my lighter color, my brightening highlight. So this is my main, just to give a really nice thin second skin layer and to even out everything. With a very light layer of Candlelit. Okay, now I'm going to do my other side. So tap my brush twice into the product. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap it into the skin and buff. Again, we're not going to worry about the eye underneath, real close to my lash line right now. That is for my brightening highlight. Now everybody has their own technique on how this makeup works best for them, but I find that this nice thin layer first makes the world of difference, and I don't have a thick, heavy mask on my face. Okay, so there on my cheeks, thin layer of Candlelight. Now it's time to go in with my brightening highlight. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, I'm going to go on the bottom layer of my compact. Now I have, doesn't show up that much on camera, but I have a lot of darkness right here. So I'm going to take the teeniest bit on the shorter, stubbier side, the blush side of our blush and bronzer brush, and I'm going to take a color corrector I'm today using Mango. Frenchie is another great one for this. It really neutralizes any darkness under the eyes. Okay, now that's a little bit darker than what I would normally go under my under eye because I want to color correct. So now that I place that down, I can already see a huge difference here in my eye socket is where I tend to get the really deep dark circles that never want to go away. Okay, so after I did a teeny bit of that, I'm going to go in with my second shade, my brightening highlight, which is Moonlit, with, again, the blush side of the brush. And just dab it gently into the product, barely anything on there. Now, this shorter side of the brush will pick up a little more product initially out of your tin than the fluffy side, so watch your pressure, but just a little bit is all you need, okay? And then I'm going to press it, get just a tiny bit more into these areas here where I like to be a little nice and bright, a little bit more on my nose. And I haven't even touched my forehead yet, so this is the first time I'm going with a little bit of the brightening highlight right in the center of my forehead and on my chin. And right at the corners of my nose. Can you guys see that? Okay, it's not even blended. I know, I'm very fair, so it's hard to see a difference between the colors. But, okay, so we're going to take the blush side, the stubby side, and where we applied that, we're just going to press that into the skin. Now, pressing into the skin like this is going to give you a little more coverage, and it's not going to lift any of that product, that candle light, that I just lay down before that. Now remember, I didn't even put any of the candle lit right under my eye there because I don't want to have a thick layer. This is supposed to be nice, one skin-like layer, and it really does melt into your skin like a second skin. Okay, so here I'm just tapping in that brightening highlight, the only thing I put so far in the center of my forehead. Okay, so main highlight, sorry, I have a hair. Main highlight, brightening highlight here, a little bit here under the eyes with some color correction, and a little bit on my chin. And I get red, really red, on the end of my nose, and right there above my upper lip. Okay, so done. Now, I'm gonna go back with my third shade in my palette. And this is the most fun, you guys. This is where the magic happens, right? The contour. So I'm going to take the shorter end of my brush. Now the contours, you got to press just a little bit harder, but I'm just going to press into that contour, get a little bit on my brush. I'm going to suck in my cheek. And place it. Top of the ear. Down, when you suck in your cheek, if you follow that natural line and blend it into your hairline, just a little bit there. Now, I'm not even going to blend that yet. We're just going to let that sit for a minute. And we're going to do the other side. Suck in my cheek. Now, if you're like me, I have a very round face, so it's really hard for me to contour, or I feel like I need to contour more often than not to give my face a little more structure and a little more shape. Okay, so you can make your contour as light or as dark as you want. Really, it's based on personal preference, but it's all about really bringing the beauty and dimension of your highlights and contours of your face naturally front and center, right? Okay, so a little bit of contour, again, press it right towards the back of my ear, top of my ear, back of my cheekbone, a little bit more. Sorry, you guys, I'm using the phone as my mirror here. Okay, now I'm not even going to blend that, but can you guys see a difference? I can see that my cheekbones look a little more chiseled, and it took maybe a couple pounds off my face, which is what I want. So now I'm going to go in with that same contour, and I don't have a jawline, you guys. Since I have gained weight these last few years, I do not have a jawline anymore. So I take a little of my contour and just kind of pat that all along down there to create a shadow. Right? Because that's what contouring is. Contouring is accentuating the natural shadows of your face. And the difference between bronzing, which I'm going to do next, and contouring is bronzing is supposed to give you that sun-kissed, tan, just naturally healthy glow. And to mention to the skin, where contouring is more to mimic shadows, okay? Now, I also, this is just personal preference, I like to do a little nose contouring. Now, I always just take a little bit of my contour with that same buffy side, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I just tap a little bit along the edges of my nose. Okay? And sometimes, now my bottom lip is really uneven. My lips are very uneven. I cheat. I draw them on you guys. But to add a little bit more shadow under my bottom lip, I take a tiny bit of contour on this side of my face and dab it there and here to create a little bit of shadow to try to make my lips look a little more even. Okay? Now I'm going to go in with bronzer. Now, most people like using a powder bronzer. I'm going to use a cream bronzer because just like our setting powder, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I have not been fortunate enough to get my hands on it yet because our Bella bronzer is amazing and it is sold out. So I'm going to take Stone Cream Contour, and with the fluffy end of my brush that I use to apply my base highlight, I'm just dipping it in again. And now I'm going to use this bronzer. So I'm going to take it and just kind of buff it into my forehead, along my hairline. Just a tiny bit, right? I'm a pale girl, so I don't go out in the sun. My body, you know, might get a little bit here and there, but my face never. So I do like to have just a little dimension, a little more. I don't want to look like a washed out potato, okay? So we did a little up there. I'm going to go back in with the firmer side, get a little right into my hairline. Okay, go on my neck. And then I'm going to take a little bit on the fluffy brush, and we're going to go back and we're going to blend this contour that I put on. Now, you guys, there is no rush. There is no rush with this makeup. Believe me, I was a double wear girl for years. And you know, once you set your liquid foundation on, or you put it on, you have to move quick and blend and make sure it's smooth and even and covering, and it sets, right? This just really melts into your skin like butter and really like a second skin. And it actually, the longer you wait, it works so much better. It becomes more pliable and it's just amazing. But don't let that fool you. It does not go anywhere. It does not wear off. I don't have transfer, no nothing, which is what I really loved about my other foundation. Okay, you guys, so I went in with just a tiny bit of bronzer, gave a little bit of warmth. I forgot to blend out my nose. Okay, so there. Little bit of bronzer on my cheeks, right above my contour, on my forehead, under my jaw, on my nose. Now, I blended that away a lot, the contour. And if you're like me, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to go with just a tiny bit more contour. Come on here. And we're going to pat it. Okay? Because I blended a lot of that away. I like a little more chiseled look. Because like I said, my face is fuller. I don't like it not having the angles I like. Okay, so there we go. Now, blush. I am going to go in with Pink Grapefruit. Fluffy side again, pat that in and go, and I'm going to go a little bit higher on my cheekbone again to give that shape and lift to my face. Just pat. How beautiful is that, you guys? Can you see that? You guys, I'm sitting in front of a window, so I hope it's not washing me out, but so you can see, this does not look like makeup. My skin does not feel like I have makeup on, and it certainly does not look like I have a ton of makeup on. It just looks like I'm smooth and even and glowy. So there we go. Full face, full coverage, but you don't have to. I just have it full coverage. Actually, I say full coverage because it's covering, but it's not heavy like a full coverage. It is truly like my second skin. My main highlight, my brightening highlight, my contour, my bronzer, my blush. Now I am going to go in with the last step. Now, I did post last night about Glamazing, my most favorite new powder illuminator that shines bright like a diamond, and I loved it. I put it on my body. But earlier when I was filming my other video, I dropped my palette. And what I did have in there shattered into a million pieces. So I unfortunately can't use that now. So I'm going to show you guys how to use our Pearl Illuminator. And Pearl is a cream. And it is a cream unlike anything I've ever felt. I posted about it in the group a few days ago. It's not greasy. It just gives my skin this beautiful glass-like... Have you guys seen that? The glass skin trend that they had, where it's just like almost dewy and radiant, but not wet, not sticky, not greasy. It does not budge my makeup. And I'm going to show you guys how to use this. Ready? So again, same brush, firmer side of the brush. I'm going to swipe just ever so gently. Swipe my brush, not pat like I did with the other colors, but I'm going to swipe it. This is a little creamier. It's a semi-gloss formula. You don't want to take a big chunk out, but you want to get enough on your brush, okay? Now this is really, it's almost like a translucent highlight, so your skin really shines through. I'm going to take a little bit and just pat. Or, so let me see if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? I'm going to use my finger. Up around the eye socket right here on the highest plane of the cheek is where you want your highlight to go. Look at that. With Pearl Illuminator, without. Now this foundation still gives a lot of radiance, but look at that, you guys. Glowy, but not overdone. So, again, the shorter end of the brush, Pearl. And then I like to go into a little bit with my finger because, like I said earlier, I like to shine bright like a diamond. And for any of you that were worried about any skin texture when you use a highlighter, our cream highlighters are definitely the way to go. Some powder highlighters can really accentuate some fine lines or texture, especially on us ladies, you know, getting up there in our late 30s, early 40s right here. And I know I have a problem with that sometimes, but this, it does not settle. It does not show any skin texture. I just look fresh and glowy. Now I'm going to put a little on my nose because that's just what I like to do, and a little there. Now I did have a little bit of a lip or plum on earlier. I think it got covered up a little bit, but I'm also going to take Pearl. And this is not a sticky gloss. It just adds a nice radiance to the lip. And you guys, I mean, can you see? That's it. That's it. Sorry, I know that took longer than 5 minutes. Without all my talking, it really would have actually taken less than that. But thank you guys for staying with me. And I can't wait to show you more fun little tips and tricks and tutorials, and so you can learn all about my new love, mascara beauty. Bye!